Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Chasing the Whimsy. I am your host Ben, and I'm solo again today. Who happens?
I'm in the audience.
And we have other grandma here. So anytime I'm solo, I always feel weird talking to myself. So I always try to find someone to come over and talk to me, so I could talk to somebody. Nothing crazy going on this week. Just this is just a nice quiet Sunday. Community day for Wooper for Pokemon Go. We went to the park. We played some basketball. We rode the bikes. We rode the swings. So we just had a regular Sunday. So Lane was okay with it. He's getting back into wrestling again. So he's doing a lot of practice, training, and he should get back to it officially at school here in the next couple of weeks. So he should have some fun stories with that. But with just a regular Sunday, again, I want to keep everything kind of consistent and have something out there for you guys. So I figured I'd just jump on and hang out for a minute. Let's see. I got some talking points. I got some notes. I'm umming so much right now. So what have I been doing? If you guys have been on the websites, chasingthewhimsy.com, I'm updating that thing like crazy all the time. So if you haven't been on there, you should really go on there and take a look at it. It's chasingthewhimsy.com. I have it pulled up on my computer today. Now that Liam's not across the table for me, I can keep extra stuff up here. But the website, it's coming along. It's definitely a lot better than it was a couple of weeks ago. Multiple tabs up top. If you scroll down a little bit, I did add a Whimsy news section, and it kind of just says what's going on with Whimsy right now on there from 11/5. Just an update that I had posted some polls on YouTube. So when I was looking at the YouTube stuff, gave me an option for a poll, some questions, and I guess there's a way to kind of create like a YouTube community. So I have been posting more videos. I don't know if anybody's looking at it. Actually, a lot of you guys are looking at these videos. It's actually really interesting. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I know Andy, shout out to Andy. Grandma, what's so funny was Violet at work. So I think we should add like a little segment to each episode somewhere in the beginning or at the end where we just give out shout outs to anybody who's listening, who interacts with us or shows some support. We give them a shout out because Violet was driving to work the other day and she heard her name on one of the episodes and she freaked out and then went home and told all of her family. So shout out to Violet. Andy, she's been very supportive too. She has her quote up there on the Whimsy quotes. So I'm doing a lot of stuff right now. I was talking to Grandma a little bit before we started. I'm just going to start throwing stuff at the walls and just trying to figure out what sticks, because obviously emails don't work. I can't get any of you guys to send me an email. So I'm like, all right. Spencer, shout out to Spencer. He chats me up every once in a while on Spotify. He leaves some comments every once in a while for us. So there's some of you out there that have a voice or you want to say something. I'm just trying to find the proper avenue for you guys to reach out and chat with us. I don't even know if Mom has an email or even knows how to check an email. So that's why I can't get anything from her. She can't even get a text anymore. Mom was going to be here, but she can't receive group texts right now. So she completely just missed the timing, and it was kind of a mess. But so yeah, YouTube, if we go to YouTube and you go to, please definitely like and subscribe. And I don't know what the subscribe does. I think when I update stuff, you'll get emails and alerts. Turn on those notifications. And then you'll see anytime I post new videos, new polls. I'm trying to pull up the poll right now. So while I'm pulling that up, what I was trying to get at in the beginning, before I got all ummed out, was today's episode, solo, is kind of good. I worked with Liam a little bit on his way to school today, and I don't know what the episode is going to be yet, but it's going to be a Mullet episode. Business up front, party in the back. So we're going to do some business here for the next couple of minutes, so just bear with me. There's some interesting stuff going on, so I know a lot of you guys are kind of interested in just the process a little bit, so you'll get that. And then I have a kind of a really fun story. I've been waiting probably since the open house to tell it. So we'll get to that in a second. But, okay, so back to YouTube. If you go to YouTube, you find my channel. And then there's a community button on the top. So it's like home, videos, shorts, podcasts, playlists, and community. We have updated all 23 episodes of the podcast on YouTube. And they are tagged and playlisted, so you can listen to the episodes on YouTube. So that is a suggestion from Andy. Again, huge shout out for the great suggestion. She likes to listen to them when she's driving chores. You kind of just click it and put it on. Nice and easy for her. And then also, she's if she's interested in any of these weird games that I'm playing, it leads right into those. So more just another way for you guys to kind of get to the podcast. But there's a community button on YouTube, and on there it has the two polls. Oh, their grandma's phone just went off. She she was watching YouTube, and then it just started playing, and she freaked out. So yes, there's two polls on there. Again, a lot of it is, I'm just throwing stuff on the wall. I'm just trying to figure out what it is that you guys want more of or less of. So right now we'll look at the two polls on YouTube. How long do you like your podcasts? Do you like them in like a nice tight 30-40? Whatever, don't rush it. Take as long as you want. Over an hour is good. Or, let's see, what was the third one? Whatever. You do you. I'll listen to anything you do, Whimsy. So if you don't care either way, hit that third one. If you prefer longer, by all means, I have no problem giving out longer content. Well, I don't know what it's going to be. I mean, it's kind of weird sometimes with Liam. But, and then I do know that a lot of people like to listen to the episodes in the car. So if you have like a 15 or 20 minute commute, you're like, oh, I can listen to the full episode within a day on the way to work and then on the way home. Sometimes when you get into like hour and a half long episodes, you're like 2.5 days. I listen to podcasts all day. I can't remember the last time I listened to music. So I just know everybody's a little bit different. So right before Other Grandma got here, I was still listening to the new episode of Tell 'em Steve Dave. So, and the second poll was, is it with regards to the YouTube channel? Like, what kind of videos do you guys want to see? Right now, I've been having a blast doing this live stream thing. I clearly have no idea what I'm doing, but the Rusty Lake games, the Cube Escape games, we have Season, which is the first game. Both parts are out on that one. Lake is the second one. That's out. That's like 8.5 minutes long. Then there's Ariel's and Harvey's Box. So there's 4 episodes with 5 videos, and they're ranging right around 9 to like maybe 18 minutes. So if you like those shorter gameplays, let me know, and I can kind of cut up all my videos into 15-20 minute clips at a time. Are you interested in longer videos? Do you want to see us do a full like huge gameplay? I don't know. So, yeah, the poll on the YouTube is keep them less than 10, 15, 20s, longer than 30, or you'll just keep watching because you liked watching. Violet at work, when she's doing her homework, I made her put on the unpacking game that we were playing the last weekend. So Liam and I found this stupid game because I was like, Liam, I'm like, I need you to find me a game that I can stream when you're not here. And he's like, I don't know. I said, let's just look. So we found this random game called Unpacking, and it is adorable and it's charming and it's cozy. It's literally a picture of a room, some shelves and a bed and some drawers and a box. And then you open the box and you take stuff out of the box and then you put them on the shelves. So I don't know. There's an hour and 40 minutes of that online, or hour 19. So if you like those, or again, a lot of it's just some of the background music. What is that? ASRM? Oh man, Liam made fun of me earlier this week because I said it wrong. I don't know what it's called. It's like the comfort background white noise videos, and those things go for like 2.5 hours sometimes. So I'm just, if you want more like audio stimulated gaming, like I can find a game with a nice beautiful soundtrack, I'll play it all the way through. You turn it on before you go to bed, I'll take it. So there's 2 polls on there for you. I'm liking the YouTube stuff because I just like playing games. I'm trying to find games I can play for like 15 minutes at a time on my breaks, so I can get some more of that content out there. Anybody have any suggestions of games you want to see played? Liam is killing it right now on Fortnite. We did not get a chance to record, so if you go on the live stream or the videos of when I was live streaming, you'll see like I have a really thick like bar that has like the chat on it, and Liam was like, I can't live stream from your house because you have the PlayStation 4 and I need a full screen. He's like, I need to see everything. But I was watching him play Fortnite and this kid was killing it, and I was like it's like weirdly like impressive. And I was like, oh, I really wish we recorded that. And he's like, I can't. He's like, I need the full screen. But when he's gonna try and do Mondays at like 6-ish. Hopefully he does it today. I just told him to send me some let's just start recording stuff because there's some really fun gameplay on there. And any of you guys with kids who like to watch Fortnite videos, Liam has some. He's like way better than he was 4 years ago. So he come a long way. A lot of really cool strategy and stuff. But if you guys like those, obviously we can turn those into like some more live streams with some chats, and we'll get them on a mic or whatever. So we'll see. What else is going on in the world of Whimsy? We got the Mondays. So other grandma filled me in on this idea. Not idea, this huge hole in my problem. When I live stream, it's not super clear that I'm live streaming on Twitch because I keep talking about YouTube. So she sees the Instagram that says I'm live streaming, and then she's on YouTube and she's like, this kid's a liar. No, you have to go to Twitch to see the live stream, but I'll still upload all of those old videos. But any of you guys interested, I'm going to try Mondays around noonish, with the exception of today, because it is Monday. I have to re-listen to this episode, cut it, and put it out. So we'll call it like 1 or 2. But I'm going to play a game today. It's going to be like 2.5, 3 hours long, I think. It's just going to be some weird, random, like artsy game. So I'll put that out again today. Come hang out. But I'm going to try and do Mondays. Definitely maybe just for an hour for sure. Between like 12 and 2 at some point. I'll lock it down better. But if you're at work, turn it on. You can listen to us. If you're not working, or you're able to hang out and chat and watch us for an hour, I'll be on there. You guys can hang out and see whatever like random games I'm playing. So most of them are not going to be the first person shooter stuff. Like I said, it's going to be like weird artsy escape room type games. I think today we're going to play Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Very interesting game. I'll talk about that next week after I remember how to play it, because it has a really kind of unique gameplay with it. So if you're interested, obviously you're going to hear this after I've played it. So go on to YouTube tomorrow and you can see the gameplay and see what's going on. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff going on. Again, the shout outs, Spencer. I guess Spencer, William's like, Spencer's listening to all of them. And he's like, Spencer loves it when you talked about him. So I'm going to talk about Spencer for a minute. How you doing, Spencer? Hey, Spencer, are your family listening? You should have them reply back to me, either on YouTube or Spotify or whatever. What other fun stuff is going on? Got a couple of notes here. I can't read my handwriting anymore. So, a lot of the stuff, if you guys have been following along, we've only really been doing this since July, which is July, August, September, October. We're in our 5th month. We're consistent, which is good. Every Monday you've had one. We've got some bonus episodes. We've had some fun. I've laughed like crazy. Liam, we got some updates about Liam. He's having a great time. He's a blast. You guys all love him. JJ, we're getting him out of his shell a little bit. He's coming up with some more Yellowstone stuff. So we're consistent. Got the website. We're keeping those all up to date. We got the webcomic. Hey, Grandma, did you see the webcomic this week?
Yes.
It was Parquet, right? Mm-hmm. That was my favorite. That's my favorite thing in the world. So yeah, the webcomic coming out every Wednesdays. I have the next 4 scheduled, so those will automatically come out. So we don't have to worry about, one less thing that I have to. Part of it, like all the automated stuff, is really nice because I can schedule in advance, and then I can kind of put a timer on it. It's the idea of like I have to be near a computer every Wednesday, and I'm like, no. So yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff. We're having a really good time with it. I hope all you guys listening are having fun. Let's see some of the numbers. So here's another weird shout out, and I really hope that you're listening. It's gonna be the weirdest shout out you guys will hear right now. Check this out. I'm pulling it up on my computer. Obviously, the country that listens to this podcast the most is the US. There is, like, this is the funniest thing in the world. If I do the math, just like a 7% of the population of this podcast listeners are from Germany and Belgium. I love it. So if you are in Germany and or Belgium and you're listening to this, please, please, please email me at whimsy@chasingthewhimsy.com, because I would love to know how you found this podcast and what you think of it. I think that's the funnest thing I've ever seen today. On one of the sites that I can check the analytics on, is like 1,200 plays from the US, and then Germany and Belgium is like 40 and 50. So I'm like, and then like I got the Philippines and everything else in here. So like there's a lot of 2 listens. So those are the people who probably find it like somewhere in their feed and then listen to it for half a second and then turn it off or skip it or whatever. But like if the majority of those are like the mistakes are 2, I just love the idea that there's like 30 and 50 people listening to this from Germany and Belgium. I think that's so cool. So yeah, any of you Belgium listeners, I love you guys. This is amazing. some other fun stuff. JJ's episode last week. I hope most of you. So I'm looking at the numbers. It looks like half of the people are current, and the other half are like 3 weeks behind. So the first preliminary numbers of JJ, which is only like 5 days, quite a few listens. But I got a note. What was it, yesterday? In the first, like, I think it was Sunday, was like 10 people had listened to his episode that day. So I was like, all right, it already got a retweet or a repost, a couple of likes already. So yeah, super fun episode. The episode 23, last of JJ's single digits, big episode because at the end of it, he he tells you the first 18-minute origin story of Yellowstone. It's the best thing I've seen come out of this podcast. And I love everything I've been doing with this podcast, but there was just something really unique and special about his telling of Yellowstone that I just flat out loved. So I want you guys all to catch up, listen to it, and send us any feedback. JJ definitely would like some of that feedback. So, keep him encouraged and keep him pushing to give you guys some more stuff. So we have a few more recordings from him that I will put together, and if there's a good positive reception, I will be happy to go ahead and start posting those soon. It is at the end of the episode, so I did it because it was his birthday, and it was kind of like a birthday present to him. But then I was like, I could have just put it out as its own episode, like same day, and just tagged it on, like, but this way I know you guys are all listening. And you get to hear JJ before the telling, so you can kind of just experience the whole thing, and that is JJ. So very fun stuff with JJ. All right, so let's see, a little bit more business. I promise we're almost done. Let me check my notes. Let's see what I can get rid of. Belgium, Germany. Okay, so I've been banging around this thing for the last couple of weeks, and I had mixed feelings about it, and then I realized like I shouldn't have mixed feelings about it, whatever. So what we've also done, and I'll update the website with a couple of links to help kind of get you there, but we currently now have a Patreon. So for those of you who are not aware of Patreon is a membership service that lots of podcaster artists use it for. And what we have on here right now is one tier, just to kind of start it off a little bit. If you like the podcast, you like what we're doing, happy with the website, the content, the real try and the what we're trying to do here, we are looking for a little bit of support from you guys. It's a $3 tier, so it's $3 a month. Grandma and I, we broke out the pen and paper, the calculator, we did the math. It comes out to about 10 cents a day. The 10 cents a day is going to kind of just help us keep the mics live, keep the lights on. It's going to keep the us podcasting consistently. Obviously, we're going to continue to do it with or without you guys, but any little help kind of goes a long way. So we mentioned early on, like, oh, you guys should podcast. Get your kids podcasting because it's super easy, super cheap. And it is, but at the same time, in the 5 months, there's a lot of stuff going on. We got bigger episodes. We got more microphones because we had, I think 3. We had Megan on for 3. Do we ever have a 4 episode that actually aired? We've never done a 4 episode that actually aired, but we have 4 microphones. We had to update the SoundCloud account, so that way we can post more and longer videos. We got the website. So there's just a very small cost, incurred doing this. And I am loving it. Liam's loving it. Again, a lot of really cool, fun stuff has come out of it so far. We got some merch. So this tier with Patreon, what will typically happen is most, again, podcasters, musicians, artists will have like a tier level. So we're just going to start off with the first tier. Again, $3. Based off of the numbers I'm seeing of listenerships, we're looking for about 15 or 20 subscribers. That will keep us even with all of... And this isn't me or Liam trying to make any money on this thing. This is just so that way I can break even at the end of the year. Again, it's gonna help pay for just the SoundCloud, the website. In theory, like I keep reading that they want me to LLC the thing, like they want me to be a business. So I don't even know what that means yet. I called my my tax lady, and I was like, hey, I said I don't know what this means, and is it worth it? Am I supposed to? Some of the early research that I did on it says that I would want to make the podcast a quote unquote business, because it kind of just protects me in case like Liam comes out with some stupid prank video and then everybody copies it, and now we end up killing 3 kids and they want to sue us. They can't come after my house and my money. They come after the podcast quote unquote business. So I'm looking into that, but I know, like, again, I felt a little bit weird about it in the beginning, but I subscribe to a couple of Patreons. I mean, all the other subscriptions that we pay for, I'm just looking for 10 cents a day. One, it kind of goes a long way just to kind of one, lets us know that you guys are out there, that you support us. It takes a little bit off my plate, so that way Liam and I can start focusing on some other types of content. Because if we know that you guys are supporting us and that there's a lot of you guys, it lets us know that we can start adding more tiers. So obviously, eventually, what we can do would be a additional content tier. So you got your $3. Thanks for the support. We appreciate everything. And then there would be like don't quote me, like a $7 tier, in which would be like we'll give you extra content. This is going to be probably next summer, because I got to get a nice backlog of stuff. But what we'll do is through the Patreon, that tier, Liam and I would put out, or I would, or Liam would, or whoever would put out an extra episode or video or something extra every week. Bonus. So you're always gonna get the original CTW proper, Jason the Whimsy proper. You always will have it, but with the support, we can start offering different kind of content. It gets us behind a paywall, so we'll get a little bit more freedom with like some of the copyright stuff. If we wanted to do like a movie review or some music reviews, it's limited, so it's a little bit, I don't know, maybe Liam's gonna get older, so when we're maybe a year and a half away from being able to put him in a position to be on camera more, we'll go on locations, or so we have a lot of really fun additional content ideas coming up. One of the other tiers, maybe a third tier, again, this isn't going to be for a little while, would be the bonus content and a gift. The gifts can range anywhere from every 3 months, we'll send you a Patreon exclusive wooden token, like the pics or the logo gnomes. We could do embroidered patches in case you guys want a nice like 2.5-inch, 3-inch embroidery patch. We could do iron on or sew on, throw it on your backpack. Car decals. I was thinking about the rear view, not the rear view, the back windows. You got the family and the dog. So normally, I think it started off with stick figures, and now everybody's kind of just jumped on the bandwagon. So you'll see like robots or monsters or whatever movie currently is out, all representing mom, dad, and the kids and the dog. So maybe we come up with a gift one quarter that's gnomes and just different size gnomes. And then because we got the cool images, maybe we got the Sophie gnome. So we can have like the little one. We could put them all in pockets. Who knows? So there's a lot of potential coming up. So take a look at it. I'm not going to beat you guys in the head with it too much. I'll probably bring it up again in a couple of weeks just to kind of give you guys an update of how many of you guys are out here supporting us financially at 10 cents a day. No hard feelings. Keep listening is my thing. But if anything you guys can do to help out would be great. And then what else? I think that's all I got for you. That didn't go as bad as I thought it was. All right. So keep an eye on the website because I'll keep the updates. So if you want to know, again, there's so much stuff going on. What's on YouTube, what's on Twitch, what's going on Patreon. We're going to a con next weekend, so we should have maybe a cool con episode. We got some, we'll post some pictures of some shirts that we got coming out. Right now, just for me and Liam. But the first page on chasingthewhimsy.com, I'll try and keep you guys all updated so you don't have to go searching the internet looking for it. By all means, search all of everything that we're saying because I like to see those views. But keep an eye on those things. And well, I guess I'm pretty shameless here. We do have a new gnome. It is online. I'll send some pictures out on Instagram and Twitter with them. But it's a present gnome. So if you guys remember last month for October, for Halloween, we had the gnome in the pumpkin. So now we have a gnome in a present. So those are available on the website. There's a merch tab. Look at it. There's an order button. When you click it, it opens up your email. And then it has a pre-written script in there. It says, thank you. Let us know what you want. Give me your address. And then we'll reply back and figure out how to get payment. We have to kind of go that way a little bit. It gets really weird only because the package that I got for the website didn't include commerce. So, and then like, if I was like a legit business, like the, like our Happy Designs who does our gnomes, like obviously she would pay for that because then she's got all that traffic. And I'm like, I'm looking to move like, I don't know, 10 or 12 gnomes a month. I'm like, I don't think I need to spend a business class tier. So it gets a little bit weird, but email me, fill it out the form, let me know, and we'll kind of figure it out a little bit. All right, so that's all we got for business. So earlier I had mentioned this is a Mullet episode. Business up front, party in the back. So I don't know what kind of party it's going to be, but I got a really, really fun story I've been holding on to since 8/6. I had an idea for this. So I was talking to Liam, and I was like, hey, we should come up with like a mystery, not a mystery box, but like your most valuable box. And I'm like, in it would be like the 5 most important things. Like, what would you lose that would stick with you? Like if you lost it, like every day you would think about it, or like once a week you would think about it. And you just like this little piece of you would kind of just be like, man, I really wish I still had that. He was like whatever about it. He liked it, but then we kind of got this idea of like, are there 5 things? I know Grandma has like a couple. She has her first bell. Like, what would she do if she lost her first bell? But then the second half of the problem is that whole idea is a very visual medium. So I think that would be better in the near future when we start like live streaming video, and then like we can podcast. You're watching the YouTube, and then like there's a table and you can start seeing the things that we're looking at instead of me. Because so you guys are gonna hear a story about this rock, and you're like, I don't get it. What's so special about this rock? This one's definitely in my box of keepsakes, of things that would always stick with me. So the origin story of this rock, and I'll take pictures of it. So it's brown and sparkly. It's about the size of my palm, slightly bigger, rectangulish, really, really shiny. And then depending on when you, the way the light hits it, you can see like these perfect circles, like these spheres. So I'll take a crater. Yeah, it's just like, I tried to look it up online at one point to try to figure out what kind of rock this was, and I couldn't figure it out. So this rock, circa 92, 93, which is now 30 years ago. Let's see. Let's take you back. Circa 92, 93. I just got done with 4th grade the first time. We were in one school district, and then we're like, we're going to move out of the trailer. We're going to go find a house on the other side of town. Different district. We go to school, and they're like, yeah, this kid's pretty dumb. We're going to hold him back. So I go 4th grade again. So I'm like, all right, whatever, let's do it. So we get into the new house. Let's see. Nikki Rhiannon shared a room. I had my room, which was really interesting. And we'll talk about it when Nikki and Rhiannon come on. I had no walls for the first year. Whatever, it happens. Because it was like a quasi, not pantry, not the pantry. It was like a weird so you have the living room and then the den, kind of like a den area. And they're like, well, you can sleep here. We'll put up walls eventually, but this is what we got. This is what we can afford. I love the house. It was probably one of my favorite houses. So we move in, and I'm 10. Let's see. You're in 1st grade at 5. Kindergarten at 5? Kindergarten at 5. So 4 years. I was 11-ish. We'll call it 11. Circa 92, 93. So we're running around. We're trying to get used to the neighborhood. We have a backyard that we can actually play in. And while I'm like just scoping out the new house, I go into the backyard, a little mound of dirt, look down, I see shiny. I'm like, ooh, shiny. Kick it around a little bit, move the dirt, and I find this rock. And this rock is beautiful, especially if you're 11 or 12. Like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Nikki, she was pissed off. She was jealous, and she'll tell you when she comes on. She's like, oh, I wish I found that. So I have this rock. No one knows what it is. I think other grandma would take us all when we'd go to like rock and gem stores, and nobody would ever tell us what it was. I think I found out eventually. I don't know. So anyway, this rock, which is on top of my TV. I kept it, right? So I had it. we move in high school. So we'll call it what? 4 more. So we're at that house. We'll call it Grover's for 4 years. And then we moved to another house we'll call Michigan. So we moved to Michigan and I still have my rock. So that's high school. That's what, 8 years? 4 to 8. I just did the math, 4 years. Good Lord. So 4 or 5 years, I take the rock. We moved in the new house. I still have it. Still sits on top of my TV and just the centerpiece of my room. Like I saw it every day, all the way through high school. So 4 more years. Graduate 02. So circa 92 to 02, 10 years. 10 years I've had this hand-sized rock. And then I move out. After high school, mom moved wherever, Nikki moved wherever. I was all lone wolf, so I'm like, I'm just gonna find a place to stay. So I end up staying with some friends from work. They were super. I was 18, 19 at this point. I move in with them. Love them to death. They helped me out in a kind of a weird time in life. But when I move into this place, not necessarily like the nicest, cleanest house anybody would live in. It is what it is. But they said I can stay with them for a little while. Ended up turning into like 4 years or some shit. So I brought the rock with me because I want this rock. So I'm now in the third house, 12 years into this thing. I still got this rock. Let's see. I bought my house in when did I buy my house? When did you buy your house, Grandma?
19 years ago.
Yes, me too. How many years? What year was that? Oh man.
It would be 22, 23, 12.
12. Okay. So 2012. Does that make sense? When did I turn 21? 83, 21, 05, 06? So I bought my house right before the crash in 08. Whatever. So we I stayed with some friends. I ended up moving out. I buy my own house, 22, so we'll call it like 08, 09. And somewhere between 2006 and 2009, I stopped noticing and remembering this rock. I knew I had it because it never moved. But I like distinctly remember because I used to see it every day. And when I left, I moved out, bought a house. I don't remember much of anything at that time. I don't remember like what stuff I had there that I took when I moved into my house. So I move into the house, decorate, do whatever. And then I'm in this house for like 3 years. I got a garage full of boxes. And I'm like, where's this rock? I'm like, it has to be one of the 100 boxes in the garage. So I take some time to go through. I start looking through everything. I'm looking through boxes and boxes and boxes. I can't find this rock. And then I try to think back, when's the last time I saw this rock? 6 years now, 7 years now. And I'm like, oh man. So I'm bummed. I'm like, all right, I guess whatever. I started a new job right after I got the house. I've been there for a couple of years. I can get my life together. And then I go back to the friend's house. We'll call them Bayren. So I go back to Bayren and I was like, hey, house is all nice now. Front yard's cleaned up. Knock on the door. And it was Bayren's mom. Mom's like, oh, yeah, they moved out a couple of years ago. I said, oh, that's super interesting. I said, I'm like, all right. Do you want to see the house? I said, yes, please. Walk in. like a full gut, tore down walls, lifted all the carpet, all the rooms, like it was one of those like probably those homemaker shows, the Extreme Makeover, where they just literally take it down to its basic, like this a skeleton of a house, and just clear everything out. They had dumpsters out. I would assume it took forever and it cost a pretty penny. So when you clean a house like this, you don't go through anything. You find the house and you're like, what the, and you just take everything and you just throw it away. And you're like, there can't be anything important in there. So I'm sitting there catching up and I'm talking to him and I'm thinking, I'm like, do I ask him about my rock? I'm like, because if you're cleaning out the house, like even though you're going through stuff and you're throwing just a bunch of shit away, like if you find something like crazy cool, you put it off to the side. And so I was like, all right, maybe. So I'm like, hey, Bayran's mom, by chance, did you remember ever seeing a rock about this big, the size of my hand, brown, sparkly, like probably the coolest rock you've ever seen in your life? She's like, no, we just she's like, we just threw everything away. I'm like, this place was a mess. We just tossed everything. And I was like, nah. So I'm like, all right, fine. It's gone. It's gone. All gone. We'll call that 2015. So since 2015, for 8 years, I think about this rock once a week. No joke. I loved this rock. I got it from Grover's when we moved from one side of town to the other side of town. Probably like a defining moment in my childhood of like, this is just a different, this is a new life. You get a rock. So I was like, and now I got a house. I got a new job. I have a new life again. Where's my rock? So every day I just think about this stupid thing. And then, what was it? Last year, Christmas? I'm still thinking about this rock. And I'm like, hey, yeah, we're going to call it Christmas 2022. I'm like, Nikki, do you remember that rock? And she's like, oh, that rock. And I'm like, I know, right? And she already knew what rock I was talking about. I'm like, hey, I think about that rock all the time. She's like, well, where'd it go? I'm like, I have no idea. I'm like, I think it got trashed. I'm like, I followed it to 3 houses. I even went back to the house years later to just randomly ask. And I'm like, it's gone. And I was like, hey, do you think it'd be weird if I went back again and asked again? And she's like, probably. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, all right, I guess. So went down memory lane with Nikki about this rock. And then starting the podcast, I'm like, I could say April 23. I turned 40. I start losing my mind. I start crying. I cry at everything. And I'm like, I don't remember anything from my past. I don't have anything from my past. I wish I had my rock. I'm like, Liam, let's start podcasting so that this could be your rock so you can always remember us. And then in doing so, I start reaching out to people like, Mom, here's what I'm going to do. Grandma, here's what we're going to do. And then randomly, I'm like, I'm going to text an ex. And I'm like, hey, Brandy. And Brandy likes it too when I give her a shout out. So, hey, so she saw my mom at her work. And I was like, oh, she lives around here. And then I end up texting her. I'm like, hey, how you been? How are the kids? She's like, great. How are you? I'm like, great. I'm like, hey, we're doing this podcast idea. And she's like, that's super cool. And I said, hey, yeah, I'm like, there's just a lot of stuff going on. I said, I'm just trying to come up with, just trying to remember things because we record everything. You know, we have a bit of a time capsule. And I was like, yeah, because remember when we used to live at Bayren? I'm like, I had a rock. And I said, I don't have it anymore. And I said, I don't remember taking it. I don't know where it is. I said, I don't remember taking it. It's not at the house. I said, I went back and talked to Bayren's mom, and then I'm like, I just don't know. And no joke, Brandy's like, I might have that rock. I'm like, nah. I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm like, you can't have a rock. I'm like, we broke up around that time. I said, and it wasn't necessarily the best breakup. I mean, as breakups go, I said, I left, you left. I'm like that whole time of my life was just like everybody was a mess. And I was like, there's no way. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, when did you move out of that house? And she's like, she tried to fill me in some dates. I'm like, I don't remember any of that. She's like, yeah, I have 2 boxes of rocks. And I'm like, and she's like, yeah, nothing else. She's like, yearbooks gone. She has some photo albums, but she's like, there's like just huge chunks of stuff that just she lost. But she decided for whatever God reason, again, this is like going back like 15 years now, 20 years now. The only thing she has of that time was these 2 boxes of rocks. So I was like, oh, that'd be super. So, and we're all doing it through text. So I'm trying not to like lose my mind. Like I'm getting ready to call her and be like, where is it? We'll go to the storage unit now. So I'm like, all right, be cool, man. I'm like, yeah, man, whenever you got time, just take a look. So I'm sitting there thinking about it. And I'm like, there's no way. So I'm like, all right, how long do I, like, what's a reasonable amount of time? Cause like, I guess she knew about the rock, but like, I've never really expressed to anybody like what this rock was or is. And like, I never really realized until I lost it. And then like, I'm like, all right. So I told Liam a little bit about it. And I'm like, how long should I wait? And he's like, I don't know. And he's 13, so he doesn't know anything about. So I was like, I give it another week. So I'm like, hey, how you doing? She's like, hey. I said, yeah, by chance, you could take a chance to go take a look at that box of rocks? And she's like, no reply for like an hour. And I was like, oh man. I'm like, what? So she ends up sending me a picture of this rock. And I was like, no fuck. And I'm like, I'll come over right now and get it. But again, I got to play it cool because like, it can't be like weird, super creepy. I'm like, hey, we haven't talked in like 12 years. Do you mind if I just come over and grab my rock real quick? And like, so I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, all right. Yeah, just hold on. Like, I'm just sitting like in my chair, I'm just laying back. I'm like, yeah, you just hold on to that for me for a little bit. And I'll come back and get that whenever. But every day for like a month, I was like, I need to get this stupid rock. Like, it's right there. Like, God forbid something happens. Like, it gets lost or she moves again or like any number of weird, stupid things happen. Her kid loses it and breaks it. Oh, I lose my mind. So I was like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Let's get the kids together. And I'm like, well, I want to get the kids to get together anyway, but I'm like, I really want to see this rock. And then eventually on 8/6, she came to the open house. Good excuse to come into my house. By the way, don't forget my rock. Hey, when you getting here? Don't forget my rock. Hey, did you have my rock? And then she gets here and I am reunited with this rock. Like, it's a pretty rock. Grandma took a couple pictures. I'll post it online soon. But it's so weird. So definitely when we get the YouTube up, we'll see if Liam can have a kind of a equally fun or other grandma. Grandma has one for her bell. She has really cool. But yeah, just I don't know what it is about this rock. I had it for so long. It is probably the one item that I've had longer than anything else. Let's see. Goldstone Worry. It's a goldstone. She's looking it up for me real quick. Okay, now it's gone. Where'd it go? All right. Goldstone Worry Stone. Palm Stone Healing Stone. All right. So it's like yeah, it's got some healing aspects to it. That's why I needed it. That's why my life fell apart. But it got better at some point, but whatever. So yes, we'll see if Lynn's got a cool story. What I was saying is, I think, okay, other grandma. There's only one other item that I currently have possession of that is the two oldest things I've ever had that I still own. This rock, and then 3 years ish prior to finding this rock, I don't know why or how or where, I have a coffee table outside. Looks woodish, and then yeah, I'll show you when we get done with it. So I have no idea why. I have this coffee table, but I won't get rid of it. I have it. So the two longest things that I still own is this rock and that coffee table. And right now they're the two coolest, most important things I have. All right. Well, I did keep this just under an hour. I appreciate everybody for hanging out and just divulging the all that business talk in the beginning. I hope you guys enjoyed my rock story and look forward to posting pictures of those. Make some comments about this rock because this thing is super cool. I won't let it go. I think Liam already called dibs on it when I die. So if anything should happen to me suspiciously in the next couple of years, look at Liam because he might be after my rock. Whimsy.